The hot dog. Americans eat 20 billion of them every year. That's 70 hot dogs per person, which means somewhere out there, someone is eating your share and mine combined. But here's the thing nobody tells you. This tuba mystery meat that we serve at baseball games and backyard barbecues, it sparked an international incident, launched a billion-dollar empire, and its origin story is so disputed that historians have literally gotten into fistfights over it. Let's start with the name, because calling it a hot dog makes absolutely no sense, unless you know the dark secret behind it. In the 1860s, German immigrants arrived in America bringing their beloved Frankfurters and Dachshund sausages. Yes, Dachshund, as in the dog breed. These sausages were long, thin, and brownish, which apparently reminded everyone of those little dogs. Vendors started shouting, "Get your Dachshund sausages! Hot Dachshund sausages!" But here's where it gets weird. Americans couldn't pronounce Dachshund, so they just started calling them hot dogs. Now you're eating something named after a small German canine. Delicious. But who actually invented this thing? 3 cities have gone to war over this claim. Frankfurt, Germany says they created it in 1487. Vienna, Austria insists they invented it, and that's why Germans call it a wiener. And then there's Coney Island, New York, which claims a guy named Charles Feltman sold the first hot dog in a bun in 1867. The Germans and Austrians have been arguing about this for 500 years. Feltman just showed up with a cart and said, "Mine now." What we do know is that Feltman was a pie salesman who had a problem. Pies were messy and customers had nowhere to sit. So he rigged up a portable stove, threw sausages in buns, and suddenly he wasn't just selling food, he was selling convenience. Within a few years, Feltman owned a massive restaurant empire in Coney Island, serving 40,000 customers daily. Then his employee, a Polish immigrant named Nathan Handwerker, stabbed him in the back, commercially speaking. Nathan noticed Feltman charged 10 cents per hot dog. So in 1916, Nathan opened his own stand directly across the street and charged a nickel, 5 cents. Feltman was selling premium. Nathan was selling volume. Feltman's empire collapsed. Nathan's Famous was born. And Nathan had a genius marketing strategy. He hired men to dress as doctors, white coats, and stethoscopes, and stand around eating his hot dogs. The message: if doctors eat here, it must be safe. This was 1916. Food safety laws barely existed. People were legitimately concerned about what was inside these things. Spoiler alert, they still should be. But Nathan's most controversial move was the hot dog eating contest. Starting in 1916, he claimed immigrants held competitions on July 4th to prove their patriotism. Eat more hot dogs, more American. Historians now believe Nathan completely made this up as a publicity stunt. There's zero evidence these contests happened before the 1970s. Which brings us to the thing nobody wants to talk about. What's actually inside? The FDA allows hot dogs to contain, quote, variety meats. That's the official term, variety meats, which sounds pleasant until you learn it includes hearts, kidneys, livers, and something called mechanically separated meat. That's when they blast leftover animal carcasses with high-pressure water and collect whatever slime comes off the bones. That slime is your hot dog. You're welcome. The industry fought back with regulations in the 1970s. Now, hot dogs must be, quote, co-minuted, which means finely ground meat products. Here's the loophole. They can still contain up to 20% fat, and the meat can include skeletal muscle, heart, tongue, and esophagus. Reading a hot dog ingredient list is like playing horror movie bingo. Yet Americans consume 20 billion hot dogs every year. That's 70 per person annually. We know what's in them, we just don't care. The cultural dominance is undeniable. Every baseball stadium in America serves them. It's practically written into the Constitution at this point. The connection started in 1893 when Chris von der Ahe, owner of the St. Louis Browns, began selling them at games. He understood something profound. Sports fans will eat literally anything you hand them while watching grown men hit a ball with a stick. Hot dogs became democracy in edible form. Rich and poor, black and white, everyone standing in the same line, eating the same mystery meat tube. It's the great equalizer. Then came the regional civil wars. Chicago demands no ketchup, only mustard, relish, onions, tomatoes, pickles, peppers, and celery salt on a poppy seed bun. Put ketchup on it and you'll be escorted out of Illinois. New York keeps it simple: sauerkraut and spicy brown mustard. Los Angeles wraps theirs in bacon and adds jalapenos because apparently regular heart disease wasn't enough. Detroit dumps chili mustard and raw onions on top and calls it a Coney Island, which is geographically offensive to actual Coney Island. Every city thinks their version is the one true way. They're all wrong. It's mechanically separated meat in intestinal casing. There's no dignified way to eat it. But the hot dog's strangest triumph is how it became patriotic. July 4th cookouts, baseball games, Nathan's famous contest broadcast on ESPN like it's an actual sport. Joey Chestnut eating 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes isn't athleticism. It's a cry for help. Yet we celebrate it as peak Americana. The FDA tried to make them rename it. Too misleading, they said. Consumers might think it contains dog meat. The industry refused. Hot dog stays, because changing it now would be admitting what we've known all along. We've been eating something we can't even properly name for over a century. So here we are, a food that 3 countries claim to have invented, that's named after an animal it doesn't contain, that's made from parts of animals we'd rather not discuss, wrapped in a casing we pretend isn't intestine, and somehow became the most American food ever created. That's the hot dog. A mystery, a scandal, and a tradition, and you'll probably eat one this weekend anyway. Enjoy!